Hello everybody, my name is Ilya.
And my name is Tylor. Together we make up Kovray, a couple that loves to play board games.
And go to conventions.
We do, the last one of the year.
Which was?
PAX Unplugged.
Did you know it was PAX Unplugged's 20th anniversary this year?
I didn't.
That's 20 years worth of tabletop gaming in Philadelphia, I think. I don't know if it was in Philadelphia the whole time, maybe. Maybe?
20 years is a long time, holy moly.
That's almost old enough to drink in the United States.
Sure. Yeah, it's almost old enough to gamble, because we're here to talk about games.
And gambling is a game. So, we go to conventions and we tell you things that we see.
Exactly.
Games that we think are exciting, games that we think are cool. We speak with publishers, we learn about some upcoming stuff too that we are able to share with you. So that is the essence of today. We brought back
the haul video.
A moderate haul of the games that we've brought back, and we'll tell you about each of them really quickly.
Yes.
And then we'll tell you about our experiences in the games we've played over the 3 to 4 days that we were in Philadelphia.
Yes. Yeah. Some of these games we bought and others we were given, and we'll explain that when we talk about the game. But yeah, let's dive right into it.
So, very first thing that we always do is we go to the Oink booth.
We do.
And we grab the newest Oink game, which in this case was?
Souvenirs from Venice.
And you got to play this.
I did, yeah. What's the undersea, the submarine
Deep Sea Adventures?
Yeah, if you like Deep Sea Adventures, I think Souvenirs from Venice is actually quite similar, but you're going to be going through the canals of Venice, essentially, for setup, and you'll be going through this boat and buying or deciding to buy or sell different souvenirs along your way. But the trick is you don't want to stay out there for too long, because if you do, you miss your flight, and then you don't actually get any of those souvenirs.
I thought you were in the canal.
You are, but the idea is that you're racing back towards the airport to eventually catch your flight.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to play
it at the same time. It's very interesting. It's a push your luck set collection game, and I had no idea what to expect before actually getting it. It's just something we end up picking up when we're at PAX.
Oink, check.
Yay.
Okay. At the same time, while Tyler was rushing to the Oink booth, I went to the Saashi booth.
Yeah.
Because I primarily really wanted Remember Our Trip. Because I've heard so many good things about that game, and I was mainly there for that. But then, excitement got the best of me, and I pulled...
Yeah, look at that.
I pulled one of the... Let's do one of each category. And then I also fell for the marketing ploy of where you have a little shelf and you keep restocking it, because there's only 2 of these left. I'm like, I'll take them both. Which I'm very happy I did, because 1AM Jailbreak was the other game I was really looking forward to, and it's a new release. So we did get, I bought In Front of the Elevators, Bus and Stop, Before the Guests Arrive, which is like uncluttering your house. That's pretty fun.
Yeah.
1AM Jailbreak, which is a game we actually played a few times throughout the convention. It's a card shedding game where you're trying to leave the prison. We really like.
Yeah.
Let's Make a Bus Stop the Dice game, a roll and rate. Heck yeah, we're going to get that. And then Remember a Trip, the game I was there for in the first place. Go ahead.
We started with empty backpacks at 10 a.m. when PAX opened, and by 10:10, Ilya's was full.
Mine was full, and I was content.
Yeah.
I will also say this started with a conversation of, we probably won't get much this year. We'll get like a couple of games here and there that we're looking forward to. But then, yay.
Games. Saashi. It's also kind of hard for us to get these games in Canada. So whenever we get the opportunity, we've got to pick them up.
Imports are tricky.
Yeah.
And Saashi was there as well, so it was really cool to meet him. And Daryl Chow, who co-designed some of these as well, which is really neat.
So part of the weekend, we got to actually play the Fellowship of the Ring, the trick-taking game with the designer. And it was just as good, probably better than I was expecting, and I had some pretty high expectations coming into it, and we ourselves both love trick-taking games. We were fortunate to be given a copy and to get the designer to sign it, so thank you so much, Office Dog. And yeah, this game is, what else you want to say about it? It
definitely was the game of PAX Unplugged.
It really was.
The line was... They had to tell people to stop lining up. That's how long the line was. And the production quality is just outstanding. Office Dog creates some really stellar games, and I can't wait to play through every single, I think, quest chapter. I forget what the classification is, but I can see the layers, I can see the scalability, I can see the creativity within the system. It's definitely going to be a game that we will be pulling out with our friends again and again.
Yeah. Lord of the Rings.
Yay. Now, what is a convention without a party game? Thank you to Weird City Games, who gave us 3 of a Kind.
3 of a Kind.
Which we did get to play. And essentially, it's a game where you're trying to match answers with everybody else. But I think the beauty of it is multiple players are choosing things at the same time.
Yeah.
So there's 3 categories, and you'll choose kind of 3 adjectives based on the one category that one player chooses. There's a lot of player interaction, and you're not necessarily waiting for your turn. And when your turn comes, you usually have 3 or 4 turns of like doing something a little bit more exciting. But everything you're doing in this game feels exciting. There's laughs in this game. It has that classic party game feel, and it was a fun game to pull out during a convention.
Yeah, some of the answers that you end up coming up with feel right, but also at the same time, nobody else thinks of them. And then you're like, oh, like the ones that was like, it was like the saddest cheese, I think, and everybody else said blue cheese, not me. Not me. I said Swiss because I could not think of blue cheese, and it's just because Swiss has holes in it, and
it's
makes
missing
me sad.
a part of itself.
Exactly.
Aww. Poor Swiss.
So that's 3 of a Kind. Definitely a new party game that if you're looking for something quick, easy, and filled with some laughs, then 3 of a Kind is something worth doing.
Now another stop we did, a little shopping stop, was Zulu's. And Zulu's it's a retailer store that is there, and they have a bunch of imports of games that you're not able to get in United States or Canada.
Quite yet.
Or potentially ever.
Potentially ever, yeah.
So who knows? So we picked up a bunch that looked really cool. And we'll quickly go through them. The first one is Grachtenpand.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
I think that was good.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
So this is a really fun drafting game where if you've played Star Wars Bounty Hunters, where you draw a card from the pile, like one of the 4 piles or so. Here it's similar. You draw either a roof, a middle, or the bottom of the canal, and you're trying to build buildings, and each building scores if there's no cats in the windows, potentially, or if it's a certain height. So each has different conditions. Yeah. So you're drawing, placing, and then passing. So it's a drafting game. And it's really simple, but it's really fun. And by the end of it, everyone has a beautiful city in front of themselves.
Well, maybe not all the buildings are complete, but you do have a nice little tower of buildings. And that's what's exciting is your scoring points. The games were pretty close, so that's always exciting to see too. And game end trigger is, well, building 4 buildings, I think. So, yeah, it was fun. I'm excited about this one. And there's a couple other ones that we picked. Well, more than just a couple other ones. But
Petal Plotters.
Petal Plotters.
Now, the story of this, let's see if I remember it. There's a creature that has attacked the other creatures.
Yes.
I think it was like a katydid or something like that.
Yeah.
I forget who was specifically. But it's a card playing game where the cards have multi-purpose. You're playing a tableau in front of yourself, but the cards also have abilities, so you can use the abilities to flip other players' cards or switch them around or flip their scoring values. But the catch is, the last card in your hand is your scoring card, and that's how you will score in the game.
Yeah.
And there's rankings and scorings, and essentially you're trying to win by building a collective number value amongst all the players' boards.
Yes.
It's very fun, quick, and clever, and I personally really enjoyed it. And it comes in a little cute box, so who can complain about that?
Yeah, it was cute. I was not the biggest fan of it, to be totally honest with you, but I like the idea of manipulating everybody's... You're essentially manipulating what everybody plays in front of them, but you have no idea what they're playing, so you know that you're kind of swaying the odds in a certain way, but it's up to you to kind of like determine how those odds are swayed. But I'm remembering that it is called a caddy need or something like that, but it's a bush cricket. That's what the common name is.
It's gonna get ya.
It's just an annoying frustration. But that's Petal Plotters. There you go.
Another game we picked up was Yellow House.
Yeah.
Now, this game we got based on recommendation of Monique from Before You Play. She's been raving about it, so I really wanted to try it. It's a trick-taking game with 2 players only.
Yeah. and it's worth raving about. It's very cool. It's basically you can create the strengths of the different suits by discarding a certain number of cards and then moving it up past the point of the card that you're trying to beat. So the varying strength of the suits depends on your ability to be able to discard cards and like the timing of everything. So that's very interesting. There's no numbers on these cards. It's all based on timing and ability to like shed your hand.
And mind games.
Yes. Yeah.
I feel I still don't know the strategy of this game, but every time we play, I'm like, again, I want to figure this out.
It is very, very
and
cool.
And it's gorgeous.
Yeah, and it's really quick, and it's got a fun story behind it too, because it's about Van Gogh and his roommate, and they're just like butting heads.
Yeah, I think from what I remember is, I forget the other artist's name, but he thought it'd be a dream to invite this other artist, and they would paint together, and they have so much fun. But they ended up arguing the whole time in the Yellow House.
And that's why we have this game. Exactly. So thank you to them.
Yeah. The other one is, while we were there, we saw Can't Stop, this edition, where the box folds out as the board.
Yes.
I think that is the new hype. It's the new trend.
It's something that's becoming
it's
more
hot.
and more. Yeah.
And we saw it, and we're like, we have to have it. And we actually don't own a copy of Can't Stop.
Yeah.
So this was a perfect coincidence.
Yeah, I think I've actually only played Can't Stop like in... No, that's a lie. I've played Can't Stop a few times, but it's been... I was going to say just online, but that's not true.
That's not true. Next one is Hot Pot Holic.
Hot Pot Holic.
This is another really clever trick-taking game. Trick-taking? Card?
Yeah, I guess it's a trick-taking game, because the way it works is like it's a trick-taker in the sense that you play out cards, and then the value of the trick, or the value of the card you play is will determine your turn order. You can't play the exact same number on your turn that's already been played, so it's very interesting to see like that back and forth. And there's always this fancy like rotate or switch, where if somebody plays the king and somebody plays the 0, then strength reverses. Yeah.
What's cool is if you win, you can eat or grab one thing. But the lesser you go, you can do more things. But so it's really interesting of you don't really want to win, but you want to have enough in the middle still to grab. So it's a really kind of balance of what can you do. It was really fun to play.
Yeah, this is a great game. It's quick, it's easy, and just the interesting timing aspect of it there's a lot of value in it, and I think thinking that goes along with it that makes the game feel a little bit more crunchy as well.
Agreed.
But essentially, it's a set collecting game when it comes down to it. There you go. Hot Pot Holic.
Now, another 2-player game that's been on our list to want to try out
that we still picked up at Zulus.
Yes.
Flatiron. This is actually from the designers of Red Cathedral. Ooh. Yeah, so the nice thing about this game is that it's a 2-player only game. It plays relatively quick, but it's like an engine builder, sequence generating game where you want to make sure that you're able to move to certain spots and activate your own board to be able to place certain things, to score more points, to build up this like 3D skyscraper. And that's like one of the big selling points for me, at least why I was first interested in looking at it, is you are actually building up this like leveled skyscraper, and it looks so good at the end. It's very satisfying.
I will say, I'm very excited to redo our top 10 2-player games. Yeah. And I will be shocked if this game is not on the list.
Oh, really?
I think everything, there's so many things I love, but I think the thing I love the most is the interaction with the other player. There's so many times where you can go somewhere because you know they're going to want to go to, Tyler's going to want to go to this place. So I'll go here to take a suboptimal action to stall him so I can do certain things. And there's just layers of that throughout the whole game. And the presentation is delightful, the complexity, the variability in the game with different player boards. I can't wait to play this game more. We finished and I'm just like, this was a very, very pleasant experience.
Yeah, I had to immediately tell people about this one when we played it, so I'm very excited about it, and I'm excited to see where it goes. Flatiron!
Yay! The next one we have on our list is Out of Sorts. There was also one more. It was a flip and write. I don't.
Oh yeah, where is
Do
it?
we have that? Okay, there's one more game that we'll talk about, and it's about you. It's a 2-player write and write game where you flip through a book and you basically fill in. It looks so much fun. I'll put a picture for it. I don't know where it is. I think it's in one of our backpacks.
Yeah.
But Out of Sorts is really cool. It's from Connor Wake, who designs Umber Via and recently Hedge Maze from Floodgate Games.
Mm-hmm.
And this game is about discovering an alien language and cooperatively working together to create like a Dewey Decimal System for it.
Yeah.
And it's really neat. I can't wait to play it. We kind of did like a really quick intro, read the rules, and play around to kind of get a feel for it, but we haven't played the full game.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, you'll have these really abstract images, and you as a group will try to sort them, and then try to remember your sorting. So like, is this a monster? Is it a more scary, less scary monster? And kind of go through all of that and try to get through the end of the whole round, because if you do, you'll win.
Yeah, it seems really, really interesting. I think you have to have the right group of people to play with. I think that's all I'll say on it, because I don't really, like Ilya said, is we didn't even get through a full round, but we tested the waters with it, and it seemed pretty interesting.
It's very different.
Yeah.
And it was really cool because PAX this year had a night market.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of indie designers and designers of all sorts who came in with like a very small batch of games. And Out of Sorts was one of them, so I'm very happy we were able to pick it up.
Yeah.
And I'm excited because we weren't able to make it to the night market, I will say, even though we really wanted to. We had a conflict. But it was really, really popular. The line was out the door. Yeah. So I suspect it will grow, which means more cool and innovative games, which we love.
Yes, a great time for indie games, which is always exciting.
Yeah. Now another portion of a game we got is Krampus.
Yes.
And Krampus is a character that is now in Horrified. And we will be talking about Krampus and World of Monsters very soon. Yeah. So keep an eye out for that video.
Yeah. And that's all we'll say about that.
Krampus. They also had a mega Krampus. We didn't end up taking a picture.
We didn't get it. Yeah, we didn't get a chance.
But there's a
cosplayer
who was huge.
And he was like 7 feet tall almost.
We were short kings compared to Krampus.
Yes.
Would you consider yourself a short king
normally? No, because I think I'm actually like average height.
You're an average prince?
I'm an average prince, yeah. No king for me.
Another game that Tyler got.
Yeah, we picked this one up. It's called Solstis. Sorry, we didn't pick it up. I was given this game. It's called Solstis. It's a 2-player game, and it's designed by Bruno Cathala. But essentially, you're building out this beautiful panoramic landscape. Sorry, there is. Corentin Lebrat is the other designer. You're building out this beautiful panorama, but you're doing it against each other. And there's ways to score certain points. If you make like a 2x2 square, you get to invite like a spirit to your portion of it. And you're just going through those steps. It's this neat little drafting game where if you match color, match number, you have to take. If you don't, there's a way to get like rainbows and push your luck. And that's fun. It plays it very quick, very smooth. They have these wooden tiles for the spirits that are really, really awesome. And look at this box. It's really small. It's easy to travel with. They do have a solo mode, which I have not played yet, but I played a lot of this on BGA, and now I'm trying to get Ilya into it, and it's been a lot of fun.
I will say, if we redo our top 10, I don't know if this one will make it. But it could.
I've played a lot of it.
I feel like it could sneak up in kind of those lower numbers because, again, it's a very clean design. It's very pretty. It's very smart as well and very different than anything I've played. Yeah. And I think I'll just have to explore the spirits a little bit more to see what they have to offer. But so far, 2 thumbs up from me.
Hey, Solstis.
Next up, we were gifted a copy of Stevens. Now, this was a game I've been particularly interested in. Not only because of the look, but I just love a crunchy Euro from time to time. Yeah. And what sold me on this game is the actions are brisk and swift, and there's really only like 2 pathways you can go. Yeah. So you quickly play, quickly get the things going. I suspect I will enjoy this a lot. Yeah. And I feel like this will be it's in their next 5 games that we'll probably get to the table. So that is also very exciting.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited for it because it sounds like it's very crunchy, but it's also like very smooth. I like when like Euro games like that keep people more involved like throughout the entire process, or at least don't like provide this long pause between turns where you can actually be thinking more, and then just going right into your turn. So looking forward to that one.
Be fun to try. Now Tyler also bought a game that's big. And
I've been looking for this game for a while. It's been really hard to lock down, but I've also been very hesitant to get it because I'm not 100% sure when Ilya and I will be able to play it, or if I'm going to play it solo, or what's going to happen.
Excuse me.
But the issue is that it's a campaign game, so that takes up a lot of time, and we like to play a lot of different games, and having this set up, we just need to find the space for it. Anyways, this is Earthborne Rangers.
Yes.
And it's an adventure game where you're going to be going through a bunch of different scenarios, basically creating your character as you go based on things that happen, and then like evolving throughout the whole process. I've heard nothing but amazing things about this game, so I was like, yeah, this convention is the convention I need to buy it. So
if Tyler's excited to play a campaign game, I'm in, because I love two-player campaign games. Especially two-player.
There we go.
Don't need more friends, because they're unreliable. After 3 weeks, you're going to stop playing the campaign.
I love friends.
Me and Tyler, we can crush a campaign game.
There you go.
There we go.
I guess we're going to crush the campaign together.
Next up, we did visit the Red Raven booth, and we love Red Raven games. I feel like they started a lot of our hobby with us, so that's really exciting. And we were gifted Creature Caravan and Isle of Night.
Yes.
Isle of Night, we don't know much about, but it looks really interesting, and we're eager to try it. Creature Caravan, I read the rulebook last night, and I'm stoked to play it. There's a little bit of push your luck with dice, there's a travel, there's a gorgeous map, there's a ton of cards that you can do various things and build your own engine with. And there's some zombie, I forget the name of them. They're a specific type of zombie. I don't know if zombie is the right name, but they come for you, and you're supposed to get them.
Don't come for me.
Yeah, you come for them instead and score victory points.
Exactly.
But this game, I will say, this is probably one of my favorite board game covers from this year.
It looks so good.
I love the color scheme.
Unreal.
The color scheme is unreal.
Yeah.
Which makes me want to do top 10 board game covers of 2024.
We should.
Because this one,
fun. Oh my goodness.
just based on a look, we gotta celebrate the art, and Ryan Lockett is a genius.
Exactly. Yeah. And yeah, we're really excited. If I remember correctly, it's a trick taker, right?
I don't remember.
Okay. Well, don't quote me on this, but I think if I remember correctly, we got the spiel, and it sounded like a trick taking-esque type game, and I'm looking forward to it.
Yep. Now, who loves anime?
Me! And that's why I was very excited to meet the team.
What about me?
You do too.
You didn't give me a chance to say me too.
Me in particular.
Have you seen Spy Family?
Did you know there's a board game? Have you seen One Piece? Because there's a board game for that one too. Heck, Kess even has amazing playmats.
Yep.
And this is Sonic, the like original arcade game. But they were kind enough to set us up with some goodies that we're really excited to check out. Both of these games seem very, very thematic, and I'm just excited, especially if you've seen the animes, I'm just excited to dive a little bit deeper into it. But for reference, Luffy's Bento Panic, the game, is basically you're playing as Luffy's crew, dealing with Luffy's hunger. And that's kind of all I really need to say.
Well, you're trying to make sure to get a bite in, because Luffy's going to eat everything.
Because Luffy is a monster, he likes eating a lot of food,
especially
and
meat.
He gets hungry, yeah.
And Spy Family is kind of love letter-esque game.
Yeah.
You have cards with abilities, and you're going through it, which is very much of that whole spy-esque theme as well. This anime is also unreal.
Yeah, I mean, for those of you who don't know, Spy Family is about this family who comes together, and one of them is a spy, one of them is an assassin.
But they don't know each other as each.
Yes, yeah, and then the twist is that their kid is a telepath, so that she knows that what they are, but not that. Yeah.
It's fun.
It's really fun. It's really cute. It's not like super action-packed, but it is like almost like it's like borderline cozy and wholesome, but it's cute. It's cute.
Borderline, I would say.
Borderline. Yeah, there's definitely
I would go in expecting cozy, wholesome.
There's definitely like action-packed stuff involved in the anime, and it's cute.
It's very cool.
And those are those two games and the playmat that we're excited for. And just a shout out to Kess for that.
Another game that I bought was
Tether!
I really like the publisher name, How to Steam Broccoli.
Yeah. When we walked past, actually, I thought, do they have a game called How to Steam Broccoli?
No,
or is that just...
That's
yeah.
the publisher
So when I
name.
walked past...
Or they might, I don't know.
Yeah. I thought it was a very clever game name, but then when I saw when we got this box, I was like, oh, that's a cool publisher name, too. But Tether is a 2 or 4 player game. I will say right now that my opinion is that it's probably just a 2 player game. And I think... I played it at 4, and I definitely know that I enjoy it more at 2, and it felt a little clunky at 4. Anyways.
What's the premise?
Basically, you are playing cards in ascending, descending order, like consecutively, but you're against each other. So one person is playing vertically, and one person is playing horizontally.
Interesting.
And the idea is that you're tethering your astronauts together. Of course, on your turn, you'll like play cards, but sometimes you won't be able to group or sequence the things that already exist, and you'll have to like place an astronaut adrift. So they'll basically just be floating out on the board until the time comes that you can group them together. And then the interesting part about the game is that when you score, it's like group thresholds. So you make a group on the table, and if it's above a certain amount of cards, it's eligible for scoring. Well, you have to score it. And then you look at the group, you determine the square that it's in, and then say it's like a 3x3, or a better example is like a 2x5. The person who is building vertically will get the 2 points. The person who is building horizontally will get the 5 points. And then you're trying to like race against each other to get the most points.
So you can only do it in like rectangles?
Yeah.
Oh,
essentially.
Fun. I have not played this one yet, but I'm excited to try it out, and I've heard really good things.
Yeah, it is very fun, and I'm excited to show you because 2 player is good.
Now, another game we were gifted was Cascadia Junior. Now, we love Cascadia, and Flat Out and AG put out some games. Now, Cascadia Junior, you might think, well, is this game only for kids? Am I going to enjoy it? I enjoy it. Basically, in this game, they're now double tiles, and you're trying to create patterns. I think of
groupings of the different
animals and habitats, I think, too.
Yeah.
But then, all in all, you're trying to build this beautiful little panorama, and you get these little creatures to put in your panorama or the habitats, but they have varying amounts of points on the back of them.
Yes.
So it's a little bit of luck based.
It's a little chaotic.
So it's a little bit chaotic because you could build the most, but then all your things can only have 1 pine cone on them, where you could build the least and then only have 2. But it's fun. It's a lot of things to enjoy. The presence in this game is just delightful. And I think it just hits the marks that it aims for.
Yes, yeah. Now, obviously, definitely catered towards kids, but it's got that very cozy vibe, and I think it's pulls away from the puzzly aspect of what everybody knows Cascadia to be, and lightens that up a little bit, so you can just casually and cozily enjoy this game, whether you're with your kids or not.
I do think it's one of the games you can show kids, and after a while you can be like, well, we can try Cascadia now, and a lot of the same principles will click.
Yeah, and if you show your kid this, they could just like sit at the table and actually just play with it. It's fun to be able to like make your own little landscape. You don't actually have to be playing the game, and I think that's what the big selling factor of the Cascadia Junior piece is.
Now the bear and the elk are all friends.
Yeah. As somebody who fidgets at the table, I am often making different scenes go on when we are playing this game.
As long as you don't look at the pine cones.
That is true. No
secrets. And that's Cascadia Junior.
Yeah. Now, we saved these 2 games for last because it's a good transition into what we've done over the weekend.
Part 2 of our video.
Yeah. So part of the weekend, we actually got to go to an Asmodee event where they were showing us different and new games. They also, They also provided us with a little goodie bag that included Word Traveler and Harmonies. We will be doing some sort of content and giveaways with these, so keep an eye out.
And the 1 a.m. jailbreak.
Yes.
Because I bought 2 copies because I thought they were going to sell out.
Yeah. So keep an eye out for that. And yeah, we've played all 3 of these. we just have extra copies now, and what better way to give back to the community than that?
We love doing giveaways, so if you also have ideas for fun creative giveaways, we'd love to know, and that can be something that we'll do in 2025.
And we really appreciate Asmodee for setting up all of the events that they do, and including us in these, and also giving us these little goodies.
Now, I'm going to grab my notebook.
Yes. I will keep talking, because at this Asmodee event, we were able to see a bunch of different games.
Exactly, which is what my notebook says.
Yes. I was able to play a game called Pergola. It's a game about building your own cozy little garden, and I just really enjoyed doing this. It's a very easy action sequence game where you're going to be grabbing a spade and taking that action and going through the steps of set collecting. There's a lot that can go on in this game, and you score like 80 to 100 points, and that's always fun. But it's super cozy. It doesn't take very long. It's very light. And at the end of it all, you've got this beautiful picture that just looks absolutely stunning.
Kind of like Cascadia Junior.
Yeah, it's actually like I would say comparably, it's like a step up in complexity, but it is that same idea where you are making a landscape.
That's so fun. I think it has metal vibes too, like
it's from the
Rebel Studio, yeah. So that's exciting. And I put a check mark to make sure that we go over all of these.
Yes.
Now, another game that Tyler got to play that I'm very jealous of is Azul Duel.
I didn't get to play a full game of it, but I got to play through 2 rounds. And some people might be like, hang on, Azul, 2 rounds? That doesn't make any sense. But the Azul Duel actually ends after 5 rounds, and it's a very interesting game of like back and forth and trying to create your board so you can optimally score all those points. It's definitely similar vibes to Azul, of course, so if you've played that, then I think this is a great 2-player game, and it's definitely worth keeping an eye out for.
Yeah, you got to play with Casey from Brain Jar.
Yeah.
She's wonderful, and that was very... we looked at it, and they were very deep in thought.
We were.
When we were watching. Now, a game I got to play that I probably am most excited for now is El Paso.
Yeah.
Now, this game is set in the world of Great Western Trail, but it's like a Great Western Trail... I don't want to say light, because it still has a lot of the elements and it still feels a lot like it, but it is a little bit of a step down to make it a bit more accessible. It's a little bit faster to play it and get to the table.
Yes.
But what was really, really cool in this game is you were essentially deck building with your cows, as you typically do, but you had workers as well. And they would start on your board, and once you use them to do various actions on the board, they go in your discard pile. And as soon as you draw them back up again, you play them, and they're immediately able to be used. Yeah. So you basically cycle through your deck quickly and use these workers, and it was just so clever. And I've played Great Western Trail a few times. It's a game I really enjoy, but it doesn't hit the table often. Maybe for the complexity, maybe...
And mostly for the complexity.
Mostly for the complexity, I believe, and the length. But this is a game that I feel I will play a significant amount.
Oh, there you go.
And it's also from Lookout Games, who we absolutely adore. 4 Shuffle is one of our favorite games of all time. So to see this implementation, to see how smooth it plays.
Yeah, and it's also part of their green line, which means they are super environmentally friendly with it.
Yes. What else did we see at the Asmodee booth?
Creating the Cosmos.
Yes.
Crafting the Cosmos.
Crafting the Cosmos.
Creating.
Creating as well.
Crafting the Cosmos is from the same designers as Monkey Palace, and it's definitely elevated. So like this game is more of a strategy game, and it's really interesting. The thing about this game is that on your turn you take this main action that involves the main board, where you're moving marbles around to then collect resources and do an action. The thing to wrap your head around with this game, though, is that you collect all of your resources, and then once you've collected all your resources, the next player can go while you do everything like in solitaire on your board. And that makes for a much faster paced game. Of course, like there are things that you do need to be paying attention to as an entire table, but once you're able to get into that solitaire state, you can start moving things around, people can go and finish their turns, and then at the end of it, when everybody is done doing their solitaire piece, that's the end of the round. And then you move on to the next one.
It did break my brain because I'm so used to like grabbing something and placing it, where here you had to just collect first.
Yes.
And the theme is really cool because there's a lot of space games, but there's no space game where you're actually building the universe and building the stars that you see.
Crafting the cosmos.
Exactly. So thank you so much for Off His Dog to Crystal for showing us this game. We actually got to play a full game. And thank you to Jenna and Court for playing with us. It was a ton of fun.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Another few games that we saw, but actually there is one more game that Jenna and I got to play. And you know what's a tragedy? The game is one of those games where the board becomes the box becomes the board.
Yeah.
So I don't remember the name.
Oh no.
So I'm sure we'll find it and I'll put it up here somewhere because it's probably easy to find. But it was really cute because it was a 2-player head-to-head game where we were both planting different vegetables and harvesting them. And it was a very pattern building game where we shift stuff around and make sure that it happens. And we're racing to 40 points. It was very clever. It was really fun. We got to play a whole game of it. I think you would really enjoy it, actually.
Yeah. I by the sounds of it, I would. And I remember the Asmodee presentation that they gave, which we won't get into too much because we'll get to talk about some of the games later, is that there's a lot of exciting things down the pipeline, and we're excited to be able to learn more and be able to play them.
2 other ones I'll quickly say is, one is Shadow Theater. So this is a Space Cowboys game. That's a 2-player only game. And Space Cowboys, 2-player games, they've been a fire.
Yeah, I agree.
Splendor Duel, Jaipur, there's so many good games. So I hope this one's just as good as the rest of them.
Yes.
And the other one that I think will be a game changer is a game called For a Crown.
Oh, yeah.
And in this game, it is the first of its kind that they are marketing, and I don't know another game that's like this. But it's a deck builder where you're collectively building one deck.
But they're sleeved differently, so you know whose cards are going to be coming up next, and it's very interesting to see.
And there's animals with jobs in it. Yeah. Anthropomorphic animals, which everybody loves. The cover looks great. I really wanted to try this one. I can't wait to play it. I think it'll be really clever.
Yeah.
Okay. Other than that, we'll get to some of the events that we've got to, but I have a list of games that we ended up playing or getting a really good demo of. I'm sure throughout...
Sorry.
Are you bored of all the games that we've played?
It's a long day.
No, I need to yawn. Well, we're going to go through this list. We're going to fire through them and hopefully inspire you to try some of these out.
Yes.
First up, Trick and Snipers.
Oh yeah, this is a cool little trick-taking game that plays very, very like the common trick-taking game with the twist of 7s and 13s. And basically, if you want to win the 7s, but you can also steal the trick by playing a card that adds to the winning card and creates 13.
It has to be offsuit.
Yeah.
So you have to get rid of that suit first.
Very, very interesting. Or it was very interesting.
We played it a few times.
We played it, yeah.
It's a really good blast. And thank you to Jeff and Jamie for fostering people for showing this to us.
Yeah. It's from the people who do Nana, right?
I think so, yeah. The other game we played was Tinco. This is a DeVere release coming out next year.
Yes.
And it's a quick...
It's like spoons.
Kind of. You're passing cards really quick.
Yeah.
You're like, I'll take 2 cards trying to build 5 of a kind. Because if you do, you'll grab something from the middle. And if you're the last person to grab it, you'll lose point. If you actually have what you need to have, you'll gain points.
Yes.
But what's really cool is there's a really obvious version of it where you're trying to collect animals. But then there's a really complex thing where each of the animals is holding a tiny little thing that's a different color. Yeah. And it's just hard to see. So... We did not play that version, but I want to try it because I feel like it'll be a whole different game. But it's just fun. I feel like these types of games are just a blast. We also played Spectacular.
Spectacular is not new to us because we got to play it at Gen Con, but it's a lot of fun. It's like a simultaneous draft where you're building your own little conservation, and the points are wild in this game. You're definitely going to score hopefully in the hundreds. It's exciting to be able to score in the hundreds in this game, and that's always fun to do. But the complexity is it's very strategic, but it is so quick. You can get this game done so fast that it feels like a very light game at the same time. And that's what I'm appreciative of. Yeah, this is definitely one of my favorite releases of this year, and it's just a delight to have it on the table. And I'm glad we got to share it with a bunch of folks too. Now, another game, I have MOUSTACHE in here.
Oh, geez.
Alright, everybody was very kind to me at PAXU, and they loved the mustache, hence why I'm probably keeping it, because everybody decided to pump my ego this weekend at PAXU, and I appreciate that, because I quite enjoy it myself, so it makes it just as much better, that people also think it looks good.
I think the mustache got a really bigger spotlight than it needed to this year.
Yes, yeah. Somebody stopped me because they noticed the mustache, and that was quite funny because I've only had it for like a month and a half. Anyways, next game,
which is Point Galaxy and Propolis. So these are two games coming out from Flat Out Games, and Point Galaxy is in that Point universe, so Point Salad, Point City, and I feel like it's a little bit more truer to Point City, or Point Salad, the first one, where you're really drafting like 2 cards or 1 card. There's some flexibility in it, but it scales up in complexity. It's a gorgeous game, and I will say, Tyler and I have a planet. Each.
Mine's called Tiling.
I think mine's called Ilyop.
Ilyop and
or
Tiling.
Ilyop.
Ilyop and Tiling.
So that's very exciting.
Yeah.
You should probably just get the game just for that one because our planets are where it's at.
It is also a very fun game.
And then Propolis is a worker placement game.
A Beeple placement game.
A Beeple placement game where all the magic just happens. It's a delightful small box game with a
Euro feel
lot
to
in it.
honestly,
Yeah, with a lot in it. And it's a game where you're placing bees and you're trying to collect different resources so you can build various things. But where you place and how you place will impact everybody else. But we'll definitely be chatting about both these games in the future, so keep an eye out on that.
Yes. What else do we have?
Australis.
Looks at me like I have the list.
Australis is next on our list.
Is chaotic.
And we got to share this game with Monique and Amin, and it was a blast. It was one of the few games on the first look section that I'm like, we have to play this. Because it's from Thames and Cosmos, and I feel like a lot of the times, games they put out do some really neat stuff.
Yes.
And Australis was no exception to that.
In particular, the dice competition that you have at the end of every round.
So in this game, there's 3 steps that happen. The first step is we're going to be drafting dice and doing things associated with those dice. We want to collect fish. We want to move our turtle across the EAC. The AEC, the Australian...
No, the East Australian Current.
East Australian Current,
so
yes. EAC.
Because I kept making the joke of EA Current. It's in the current.
Well, so you're moving down the current, you're trying to area control for corals, you're trying to do quite a lot of things, but all of that you're doing through drafting dice. Then you're going to score. Every round you'll score. And you'll score for 3 various aspects of the game. And then my absolutely favorite part, the third part, the dice tournament. So some of the dice have numbers on them. And these dice you will use and compete in a tournament. You all roll the dice that have numbers, and the lowest number gets eliminated.
Gone.
And you'll go until there's only 1 player remaining, and that player will get a bonus, and the second place will get a bonus. There's strategy to it, because you can collect cards that lift up your dice value. You can collect the first player dice, which is higher values than the other dice. So there's ways to mitigate that luck element, but it's just so much. It's a game that's pure joy, in my opinion,
and a lot of luck.
A lot of luck. It's one of those games you're not going to play to get the highest score, and you're not going to be the best at Australis every time you play. But it will be a ridiculous game and a story that you'll tell many games forward, and it'll probably be a game you'll pull out again because I really want to play it again.
Yeah. 4 out of the 5 rounds that we had, I was in a contest for first and second, and then like matched and got the exact same, so we were all eliminated kind of thing. But because my tiebreaker was worse, I lost all 4 rounds.
The tiebreaker
which means I missed out on a lot of points, but it was just chaotically hilarious. By the end of it, round 5, I was like, oh no, and then I had to get up and walk away in like a good, like
in
playful,
a funny, theatrical moment.
It was good. It was fun.
I will say one of the learnings is you do need to invest heavily into the EAC because that is the tiebreaker, and if you're behind, not gonna happen.
Yeah.
But if you invest into the EAC,
you're
not gonna participate in the dice tournament because that particular action does not have numbered dice with it.
Yes, it does.
The EAC?
The moving on the EAC has it. Yeah. It's the turtle, the blue die.
Oh, it does.
Yeah,
You're right.
that's
The
the one you
Quarrels
want.
is the one that
Yeah,
it doesn't.
that was my qualm with it. But anyways, we've talked enough about this game. It's fun, chaotic, and if you're expecting it to be strategic, yes, there is some
strategy.
There's some strategy involved, but it is mostly just chaotic in my opinion.
It's so fun. I can't wait to play it again. Now, another game we got to play is from Amigo Games called Beutezug.
Beutezug, yeah.
So this was like a skill test game where essentially you'd pick a card that you want, and in reverse player order you'll attempt the dice roll, and if you hit it, you get the card, and if you don't, you get lesser cards. And each of the cards there's a little bit of engine building that happens with it. There's a little bit of progression that the more cards you get from the bottom, the more you unlock to potentially discover. I was really drawn to the character art.
Yeah, it definitely gives vibes of like not a D&D, but like a more, well, kind of a D&D, but like a science-y D&D, I guess, is kind of what I would say. I don't know. Anyways, it was very, very interesting, the art. And then also the gameplay was really cool. It was just like a simple push your luck game, in my opinion, with a little bit of like engine build. And the engine building was mostly like your dice, like you can re-roll these types of dice. You get an addition +1 on these types of dice, and it was very fun to just like navigate through all of that. And
Another game we got to play is Yubibo.
Yubibo.
So this game is literally you draw a card.
Twister
it's kind of like Twister with
your hands.
With your hands.
It is. It's not kind of like Twister with your hands. It's Twister with your hands.
And sticks.
Yeah, and yeah. The thing is that you're attaching sticks. So like I would draw a card and it would say like a certain hand or a certain color and a certain finger, and then I would grab the stick and I can choose whatever I want, but then I have to
unless it's your color.
Yeah, unless it's my color, and then I have to stick it to Ilya's hand. And
stick it to me.
Yeah, and then you have to try and balance it as quickly as you can, but it's really, really difficult. It looks really cool though, and it's a lot of fun, but it's not as easy as it may seem.
It's very silly. And there's advanced mode where you're trying to bounce balls on top of like 2 sticks too, and it was a fun one to try, that's for sure. We also did a learn and play, which is one of our favorite things to do at PAX Unplugged. And we've had some people return. Some people are in Discord and friends that we made along the way come and visit us at our learn and play and learn some games with us. So thank you to each and every one of you for being there. And the games that we got to teach were
Combo and the Gang. And we initially came in thinking that we were just going to teach the Gang, really, but then we decided to make this combination of games because for those of you who aren't aware of poker or have played poker before, it's a good like combination of 2 games to help you understand the ranking of cards.
What poker is?
Yeah. That's how I think about it.
Okay.
Combo is a good way
combo. You said poker is a good way. Combo is a good way.
Combo is a good way to understand rankings of poker hands or of hands in general. And then the Gang is a cooperative poker game which really leans into the ranking of card games, of poker games. So like you can have that combination of easing into it through playing Combo.
My favorite part is in Combo, the hand rankings have different names. So a slushy or a super slushy or a smoothie is a certain hand.
Yeah.
So it's really funny when we switched to the Gang and someone's like, that's a super slushy. And I was like, yes. So it was silly, it was fun, and it's such a blast to be able to teach a game to so many people. And it's something we always really look forward to. So thank you to each and every one of you who made it by.
Yes. Yeah.
We also played a lot of the Gang this weekend.
We did.
The Gang was a game that came out, and there were some really memorable hands. And I feel like that game just always makes me filled with joy.
Yeah. It is a lot of fun, and I'm excited that more and more people are playing it.
Now, a couple of last highlights is we did get to go to the Teebletop booth, and I got a new sweater.
Boom.
And I got a new Fit to Print shirt.
Yeah.
And Tyler got a Eurogamer shirt.
Yeah.
Teebletop is amazing. Check them out.
That's it.
That's it. Period. And hard stop.
Hard stop. Yeah.
And stop.
Otherwise, we got to hang out with a lot of people. We got to see some friends, and it's just always nice to go and have a convention where it's just about hanging out, just about getting to see some new things and really do ourselves a vacation. Because important especially now that we're working in the hobby, that we take some time to enjoy the hobby, because we never want that fire to burn.
We want the fire to
continue to burn.
We don't want it to dim.
Yeah, we don't want it to dim. And I think like being able to do these types of things and remembering the people that are on the same journey as us, and making sure we spend those opportunities hanging out with them is always really important.
Yeah. So while Tyler was talking, we saw a montage of all the friendships we made along the way, of the games that we maybe saw but didn't have the chance to talk about here. So if you're curious about any of them, definitely ask us about them. And thank you again to PAX Unplugged, to all the people that we've met. It's always such a pleasure. PAX was our first convention, and it definitely will not be our last.
Exactly. Yeah. So for anybody out there that was at PAX, maybe let us know the games that you looked forward to picking up, that you were able to try. If you weren't at PAX, let us know what games really stood out to you from what we managed to bring, or what games are you looking forward to playing?
That's a lot of questions of the day.
Yeah.
The one I'll add is, what content do you want to see of some of these games? Do you want to see me and Tyler go head-to-head in Yellow House? Do you want a how-to-play video of Cascadia Junior? Do you want to see a Tether competition?
Yeah, who knows?
Who knows? You know. So tell us your thoughts.
Comments down below.
And if you enjoyed this video,
hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button if you're new here. And thanks so much for sticking around in this fun, lengthy PAXU recap. We will see you in the next one.
Just a couple more videos and then 2025.
Exactly.
Bye. Bye.